Good morning and welcome into the Lioness Den. We are so excited to have you join us this morning. If you've been following the platform for any amount of time, you know that October is a very, very special month here at the Lioness Den. I'm LA Wilson and I'm excited to be your guest host as usual for the first Saturday in October. All right, as we usually do, our host tells us at the very beginning to get out your phones or your iPads or whatever devices you have. Remember to like, to comment as we go along, to share. If you're on Facebook, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the reminder button. So every time the Lioness Den goes live, you'll get a notification. We're going to do that right now. And as everybody is liking the page and following and doing all that good stuff, we'll be right back after this message. All right, welcome back again. We're excited to kick off the month of October. If you follow us, you know that this is the month of our Survivor series. For those who may be new to watching us, every October, every Saturday, we have special guests during our Survivor series, which leads into our Life Happens conference. We won't get into the conference right now, but before we leave you, we'll give you all the details and tell you what you can sign up for at the end of the month. But for right now, we're going to bring in our guest, which is familiar with everybody, Miss Lydia Chapman. Good morning.
Good morning, LA. How are you today?
I am wonderful. As always, I enjoy the first Saturday in October being the special guest host, where I get to sit on this side of the table and get to interview you, which is always fun and exciting. And as always, she will have a special inspirational message that she will give to all of those who are watching on this morning. How you feeling? You excited?
I am excited. Of course, as always, it tickles me pink to be the guest and to have you as the host every year. It's always an amazing exchange.
Well, I am delighted to do it. It also tickles me pink as well because I get to pick with you being on this side because you're always on this side of the table. So it is exciting to be on this side of the table. Well, per usual, as we do in October, we're going to give you space to come and bring us an inspirational word to give to the people. Once you finish, we'll come back. We'll dive in a little deeper to what you told because there's always nuggets that you leave that we can expound upon. And then after that, we'll give the people all the reasons why they should join us every Saturday, same time, same place on the Lioness Den and in person on the last Saturday. Again, we'll get into that afterwards. But for right now, everybody, I present to you the founder, the Lydia Chapman.
Oh, Lucretia. You know, guys, LA is one of my favorite people. We've been doing this, I would say together. She will tell you that I've been doing it and she's just been helping along. But I think we've been doing this together for the last almost 5 years. And every time it's been amazing. Each time we have so much fun together. So thank you for always agreeing to do this, Lucretia. I definitely appreciate you and everything you do to help the Lioness Den be what it is. With that being said, we're going to get into our inspirational for today, our motivational message, I'll say, because the idea is not just to inspire. Let's see here. Okay. See, sometimes as life goes along, life happens, and that's what happens. You have those little outtakes and those things that happen within our life that just don't always make it quite easy for us to move forward, or the unexpected. But the unexpected is a part of life, lifing, and so we've gotten used to these little technical difficulties may happen during a live or whatever. But what we have learned to do is what we're talking about this year, and that is giving ourselves grace, because grace allows us to look at it, analyze it, and move forward. And I say to you guys, how many of you have forgotten about giving yourself grace? Because giving yourself grace is so important in our today's world, especially with the climate in which we are living right now. More than ever, we have to learn to give ourselves some grace. So I prepared a few little notes this morning because there's some things that I want to share with you. If you see me looking off, it's because I'm looking at my notes, something I don't do often. But today, because this topic is so important to me, I made sure to jot down some notes because I want us to really begin to understand the process of grace. I want us to begin to understand how to give ourselves grace. And I want us to know that it is important that we give ourselves grace. And that is the main objective of what this year is about, giving yourself grace. And so, in my notes and my title, I guess I would say today is, what does give yourself grace really mean? Right? A lot of times we've heard people say it. Sometimes it's become a cliche. When people want to sometimes get over on you, they'll say, just give yourself grace, or give me grace. That's one of the big ones. Give me grace. But it's not because they necessarily need grace, but they understand your personality. And if you have the personality that will say, maybe I'm too hard, or, you know, any of those things. Some people say, what would Jesus do? That's not my favorite at all. I really don't like that one at all. But if they know that you have that type of personality that is moved to give grace, they will always play on your grace. And so I want to talk about giving yourself grace, because many times we are open to giving others grace, but we never really consider giving that same grace to ourselves. We can understand that others have made mistakes, that they need grace, that they need understanding, that they may even need a hand up or hand out. But when it comes to us, we really get into, I need to do better. I need to do more. I need to work harder. If I had done, how many times have we talked about if I had done, if this happened, if that happened, it would have been perfect. That if word becomes the thing that really causes us to sink into regret sometimes, despair, and even depression, because we go into the if factor. Is what I like to call it. It's the if factor. The if factor goes, if I had. And notice how that sentence went. If I had. A lot of times when we don't give ourselves grace, we really begin to point out all of the things that we believe would have been better if we had. So my question to you today is, if you had and it still didn't turn out right, what now? If. Because if is a big word, even though it's two letters. And a lot of people allow their lives to be stuck on if. When if could be if anything. But this is the thing about grace. Grace allows us to look at the thing, and if we're using the word if as our deciding factor, if this had happened, it gives you the chance to look at it and say, guess what? Let's do it that way. Just do over, and do it that way. So now I know if I had done that, it would work this way, because if I do it over and it works this way, that if works. But if I do it that way and it doesn't work, my if was invalid. Are we living our lives on an invalid if? Are we setting ourselves up on an invalid if? Are we imprisoning ourselves on an invalid if? That's my question to you today. Because a lot of times what we are plaguing ourselves with, what we are charging ourselves with, comes from an invalid if. No grace has been applied. No honey has been applied to the way that we deal with ourselves. We'll do it when we deal with others. And when I say honey, it's the way that we open our mouths and speak towards a situation. You're going to think, a lot of us, I'm not going to say all of us, but a lot of us are going to think about what happens when we're talking to others, how we're speaking to others, what we're saying to them, how it sounds when it comes out of our mouth. We are going to take the time, if we are definitely those quality people, we take the time to say, oh, I don't want to say it that way because I don't want to hurt their feelings. What about your feelings? When you begin to accuse yourself of this if crime, did you think about how is this going to make me feel in the long run? Because that's what happens. We charge ourselves with an if. We become the judge and jury over the if. And then we lock ourselves in prison to the if this had happened. What if it didn't happen? It doesn't really matter because grace gives you the chance to start over. You are graced to start over. You are graced to explore your if. That's the good part. Grace gives you the opportunity to explore if. Grace says, hey, so I looked at this process. When I turned the nail to, when I turned the screw to the left, it didn't seem to get tight. And it came out completely. What am I doing wrong? Grace says I take that screw and I begin to turn it to the right. And I notice that it's getting tighter. And the desired effect of my table being complete comes, I can see it happening now. That's what grace does. Grace says I looked at the process. I identified what I was doing that wasn't working and I corrected it. That's what grace does. Grace is not there to accuse you. Grace is not there to put you in jail. Grace is not there to sentence you. Grace is there to help you to understand, this is what I'm looking at. How can I make it better? How many times have you looked at the situation and just went off? You just, this is just, We are masters of saying, I just knew this wasn't going to happen. We are masters of giving into the negative. I just knew, I was going to stump my toe on the end of that table. I do it every time. Why didn't Grace tell you to put a rubber cone on the end of that table or protection on the end of that table so that next time when I come past, I don't stump my foot? So if I hit my toe, it doesn't hurt. That's what grace does. Grace offers you the opportunity to do it over and to find the way to make it better. Have you given yourself grace? What do you really think grace means? Do you really think grace is about accusing you? Do you really think grace is about putting you in jail? I promise you it's not. The one thing a lot of us do is we give ourselves a pass and we call that giving ourselves grace. You say, Lydia, what is a pass? A pass is, it didn't work out. Let's move on. That's giving yourself a pass. It's not exploring and understanding what didn't work. It's not exploring and understanding, is this really the vision and the dream that I was called to? It's just, didn't work. Let's move on to the next. Wasn't worth it. Is that true? Was it really not worth it? Or were you really not willing to do the work to allow grace to make it work for you? That's my question to you guys. Like, really, what are we doing? This past thing that we characterize as giving ourselves grace usually sets us up for failure. When you give yourself a pass, there is nothing that comes of the past that allows you to be able to say, X was right, Y was wrong, X works, Y doesn't. All you do is take the whole thing, ball it up, throw it away. That's what a past does. Let's move on to the next. I want to encourage you as you go towards the dream and the vision to unball some of those dreams, to unball some of those visions. Because you can take and say, the last time I went towards becoming a speaker, I was speaking, I stumbled a lot over my words. uh, I didn't really practice my speech, whatever you want to say. But then it also gives you tools to move forward. So if I stumbled over the words and I didn't practice, maybe the answer and the fail forward that I need to do is practice. Take my time, understand it, maybe memorize some things, some key points that keep me on track of what I'm saying. And then let's do this again. What are you throwing away that you really need to work through? That's the question. Grace helps us to work through. A lot of times we throw things away and never work through them. We throw them away and never give the time to say, this is really what I'm called to do. And we wonder, while we're sitting in our prison cell, looking through our little bars, what happened? Why didn't it work? And the answer is, I didn't apply grace. That's the answer. I didn't apply grace. I didn't give myself the chance to work on this thing and make sure that it was exactly what I wanted it to be. I didn't make sure it's exactly what I was called to do. I didn't make sure. But grace says, hey, Lydia, don't shut down the Lioness Den. Continue to work at it because it's going to get better because you're taking the time to do the work. That's what grace does for us, guys. Grace lets us know it's going to get better because we're doing the work. As we go along with the whole grace and begin to assess what we're looking at, we really have to remember that grace teaches us how to deal with success and failure. A lot of times we only talk about the failure part. I failed. I didn't do great. But what about success? When grace teaches us to build. So I did this great. The conference went over wonderful. Now grace says, if I'm going to do this again, which grace is going to push me towards doing it because it was a success. When I do this again, now let's see what things I can make better. I'm patting myself on the back the day that it's done. Yes, this is wonderful. I made it. But what is my next? Grace allows me to look for the next. How many times do you think this is a one-time event and find out that it's a lifetime thing? A lot of us don't find it out because once it's good, what they say, if it's good, don't mess it up. What is it? Don't fix it. If it's working, don't fix it. That's the statement. It works. I don't need to fix it. How about I need to perfect it though? So grace allows me the chance to say, everything worked pretty much the way I wanted it to. How do I make this thing better? Again, it's a process. Life is a process. What happens is when life begins to start lifing, as it does for all of us, we may lose jobs. We may lose people. Loss is one of the major pushers when it comes down to how we deal with things. When we begin to lose stuff, instead of us saying, I lost this, what do I do? Grandma's not here to tell me what to do. How do I move forward on those difficult decisions? This is when I apply some grace. Because I can remember, oh, she made biscuits. She did the flour this way. She sifted it. Then she used the yeast and she put it, I'm not a bread maker. I'm just going with a few things that I remember about people who make bread. But she put the yeast on and she put the cover on and she set it so it could rise. But I want to make blueberry bread. So now grace says I take the process and I begin to work on the process to tweak it, to do something that grandma didn't show me. And I may not get it right the first time, or I might. Go figure if you get it right the first time. But when you don't give yourself grace, you don't even try. That's the part about grace that I want us to recognize. Grace means that I am trying. Grace means that there is effort being put forth. Grace means that this is not just a fly by night. This is something that's been thought through. Because part of giving myself grace is the planning process. How many of us are willy-nilly and jump up and tomorrow we're going to be millionaires because somebody told us about an overnight success? that it didn't take them overnight to get to. How many times are we trying to reach overnight success watching people who it took them more than overnight to be successful? It happens to all of us. We wake up with an idea and we run. But in that running, when we apply grace, we begin to plan. We begin to look at the process. We begin to look at what it takes really to accomplish what's necessary. One of the scriptures in the Bible is where God says to Paul, my grace is sufficient. Now, if you remember anything about that scripture, you know that Paul was talking about a thorn in his flesh. I'm not going into that, y'all. That is not what we're talking about here, okay? But what I want to point out about the grace being sufficient is that Paul was focused on the thorn, and God was focused on his sufficient grace. Sometimes we have to stop focusing on what we think is the thorn. We have to stop focusing on that and focus on the sufficient grace that God has offered us and take advantage of it. How many times do we not take advantage of the grace that we've been offered? God gives us grace and we're still imprisoning ourselves. I really want us to look at this thing because that grace being sufficient is important. His grace is sufficient. And because his grace is sufficient, when we apply grace, it becomes sufficient. Yet we don't believe our grace is sufficient for us. I promise you, when you begin to work this grace thing, understanding that your Heavenly Father behind you, beside you, around you, within you is working this thing out for you, you'll understand that grace is working for you. Seems a little, how do I know? How do I know? Trust, which is one of the problems with a lot of us when it comes down to giving ourselves grace. We don't even trust ourselves. So when it comes to the grace part of it, we can't give ourselves grace because I did this too many times. His grace is sufficient. It doesn't matter how many times you've done it. It doesn't matter, in the words of my good friend LA, if you're addicted and been to rehab 50,000 times and they've told you, you know, people done got tired of putting you in rehab for whatever your addiction may be. God's grace is sufficient for you. Doesn't matter how many times it takes to come out. The fact that you come out and that you work to come out, that part is what matters. And that happens when you learn to give yourself some grace. So, a couple of things I want to say about giving yourself grace. First one is, part of giving yourself grace is you have to love you. And loving ourselves sometimes, especially for people who are givers, is pretty hard because you want to show love, but a lot of times you don't know how to receive love from others or even yourself. My challenge to you is, if you are a giver, if you are watching this broadcast, today, go out and do something that shows that you love you. No, I'm not saying go out and buy a car today. You didn't plan that. You might not be ready for that. But go get a cup of coffee. Sit down and let the wind blow through your hair or on your head. I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, feel the wind. Take some time and stop and enjoy a moment. Because enjoying a moment with you means more than what anyone else can do. And it helps you to begin to understand how to love you and give yourself some grace. A lot of times, loving us is what stands as a memorial against us when it's time to give grace because we're not working on loving ourselves. And understand, we say we give ourselves these days of wellness days and all of that. But on that wellness day, because you go get a massage, after you left the massage, were you relaxed and then allowed something to take your peace and then fussed at yourself? Why did I let that get on my nerves? I'm talking from experience. I've done it more than once. I left. We went to Myrtle Beach. A quick story. Had a massage. I was not feeling well. The massage allowed me to be able to walk without pain. I let something get on my nerves. And a massage that I'd only for an hour been able to walk around, just cool, everything was great. All of a sudden, the pain had come back. Why? Because even though I was supposed to be treating myself, taking care of myself, doing this self-care day, because I allowed something to come in, and then I let it have space that it didn't supposed to have. Now, the grace that I was supposed to give myself has worn out, because now I'm hurting again, and I'm going, why did I let that bother me? I let it bother me because I'm human. But what I have to do is begin when it's a self day and you come with, or a situation comes about, not today. You know, we laugh when people say not today, devil, but sometimes we need to say, not today, Lydia. We're not doing that. We ain't got to say not today, devil. Sometimes you got to tell yourself, we're not doing that today. Today is rest and relaxation. And because I love me, I know I need this. Sometimes you need to love on you. Just you. Give to you. Just you. And I have a secret to tell you. The secret is it's not selfish. Because if I don't love me, how can I truly love someone else? We think we are, but we're not. That's what grace does for us, helps us to love us. The second thing I want you to do, and I kind of touched on it already, is protect you. So protect me. Sometimes you got to protect you from you. Because just like I said a few minutes ago, if you allow those things to interrupt your peace, and then you begin to accuse yourself, who protects you from you? You have to get a mindset of, I am not going to take me down today. Because that's who takes us down. Let's be honest. I'm not going to take me down. I'm not going to take me out. But today, I give myself grace to live and enjoy this moment. Because enjoying this moment helps me to deal with what's coming next. It also helps me when I'm ready to help the next person, because I'm refreshed, I'm renewed, and I'm revived. The third thing I want you to think about is, how mature am I? And this is a hard one for all of us, because we really feel like we're adults, so we're very mature. But some of the things that we allow to interrupt our peace, to interrupt our thought, to interrupt how we feel about ourselves, is because of immaturity. As we matriculate through life, we have to get to a point where we understand what grace is and how to give it to ourselves, where we understand what taking care of us is and how to actually do it. And so sometimes it means, and I am bad at this, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and repent now, turning off our phones and saying, I'm not going to do anything today but take care of me. Sometimes it's just saying no. My good friend Ellie Wilson always says to me, no is a complete sentence, Lydia, and it's okay. So sometimes we just have to say no. Sometimes we have to say, for a month, I'm not going to talk to X, Y, or Z, because X, Y, or Z gets me off. And what I'm supposed to be doing does not get done because I'm spending so much time talking to them. I wrote about that in the book, guys. So just know there's a book coming this year. It's called Grace Space. And in Grace Space, there's an excerpt about the no contact grace. No contact grace means I need to set a boundary where I am not going to talk or speak or contact you in any way. Because when I contact you, my grace is gone. My peace is gone. My agenda is gone. What I'm supposed to do is gone. My mind doesn't function properly when I'm talking to you. And so I need a period of no contact. But that particular thing takes a certain amount of maturity, because maturity says, I can handle no contact. I don't have to talk to this person. I don't have to do this thing. You know, they say it takes 21 days to form a habit. And I'm not getting off topic, but I do want to make clear that 21 days may increase your maturity and allow you to be able to plan and give yourself some grace to go to the next level. Because it takes grace to go to the next level, guys. It definitely takes grace. I really want you to understand, as I hasten to my close, that grace is not about excuses. So if you're thinking that Lydia is sitting here talking to me about how to excuse myself from doing what I need to do, that's not it. Grace is about ownership and taking responsibility for what needs to be done to move forward. When we add grace to what we're doing, then we take that ownership. We list what went right, we list what went wrong, we make a plan, and we move forward. As I end today and turn this back over to L.A. Wilson, I want you to learn to give yourself grace, not a pass, because a pass is a failed stop. That's when you throw everything away. But give yourself grace, which is a fail forward. The fail forward says, I've analyzed this process. I know what went wrong. And now I'm willing to try something else. Thank you all. And I am turning it back over to LA.
Come on now. I am going to do my level best not to, re-preach what she just put out there. But we get so excited about every time Lydia comes with a word, okay? A little encouragement, motivation. And for those, let's do a quick plug real quick. If you are on Facebook, go find the group Life Happens with an S, Conferences Official. Life Happens Conferences Official. If you love that motivational talk she just gave, at least 3 times a week within that group, she comes live with a little nugget in the morning to get us going. Okay. So if you enjoyed that, go find that group on Facebook and request to join that. Again, Life Happens with an S, Conferences with an S Official, and join that group. So let's just dive in. Let's take some little nuggets from what you talked about in giving ourselves grace. First, when you started, you talked about the ifs, right? And we all, once something happens, we like, oh man, if I would have did it this way, if I would have did it that way, if I would have did it this way, it would have happened. And when you were speaking, I thought of my husband always says, who do you have in your ear? Sometimes the things that we have in our mind and what causes us to go down a path that's not healthy and not giving ourselves grace is because of the people we have had in our ear or the people we currently have in our ear. Right. So in this walk in life, we all want friends. We all want them people we can call on and can talk to and be like, oh, that's my bestie. That's my BFF. That's my road dog. That's my ride or die. But if you have the wrong people in those positions in your ear,
Yep.
Your ifs and I coulda and I shoulda become greater because they're not the positive reinforcements back into helping you to give yourself grace. There's a quick definition. It says giving yourself grace means treating yourself with the same kindness, compassion, and understanding you would offer a dear friend, acknowledging that you are human and not perfect, and allowing yourself to learn and grow without harsh self-judgment or condemnation. How many of us have done something and we say, oh, I should have did it this way, should have did it that way. And then that person who's supposed to be our support system say, you're right, you should have, but you didn't.
Every time, don't they?
You should have, but instead of coming to you and be like, ooh, I'm about to knock them camera. Instead of coming and be like, well, you know what? Don't worry about it. Let's, as you said, let's look at the process and see what we can do better. Yes. See what we can make happen different next time. Because it's okay. We're going to fail and some things going to go wrong. As we know with technology, knocking over cameras, signals going out.
Signals going out. All of that happens. All of that happens.
Great. iPads falling out of hand. We're going to give some grace. But if you have the wrong person in your ear.
Hey, it's over for you almost.
It's over. It's over. One thing, if you listen, you were speaking about how grace is a process. It's not a one day, I give myself grace and I go on. Grace is a process. Giving yourself grace is a process. It's something that you have to work through. It's a skill. You mentioned when you first said that we often, some of us, if our personalities as such, we offer grace to everybody else. It's
Yes.
okay. We'll get through it. Blah, 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 blah. You know, we are supportive. We are the cheerleaders. We are everything. But when it comes around to telling ourselves the same thing, we don't do that.
Yep.
How many people can say ouch? The preacher said, you know, if you can't say amen, say ouch.
That's why you go to the altar and put both hands up, put your head down.
And just say ouch. It's me, Lord. It's me, oh Lord.
Me, Lord. It's me.
Because we are our worst critics sometimes. Yeah. We are our worst critics, but we have to go through that process of grace. And sometimes we can't do it on our own.
Right.
And this is a great segue into say, sometimes you need Jesus and a what?
Therapist.
Say it again. Sometimes you need Jesus and a what?
A therapist.
A therapist. Because what can a therapist do? They can break down those walls that you don't even know you have up in your mind to figure out, why can't I give myself grace? Why can't I extend the same love, the same kindness, the same mercy, same grace I give to others to myself? Because it's something within me that I need to figure out. Mm-hmm. And sometimes a therapist can help you with that. Yes, we pray for us who love the Lord and go to church every Sunday and attend Bible study.
We do.
But sometimes the Lord is like, it's amazing. We believe that God assigned doctors to be in the hospital. If we break our leg, to put a cast on it. If break our arm, put a cast on it. If we need major surgery, we believe that God has gifted doctors to replace a hip, to do heart surgery. Yeah, we believe in all that. But if we say, go talk to that certified,
right?
Go talk to that, because what people, I've said before, what people forget that therapists went to school. Exactly. just like that's like you go see your internal medicine doctor. They went to school. You don't come out of high school saying I'm a therapist. It's a process. They go get professional training to be able to speak into your life and be able to give you tools to break down the walls that sometimes you don't even know is there. To break down the trauma that you may have experienced in your childhood that causes you to be the way you are today. Yep. So with that segue, as I said, I wasn't going to break down your whole motivational message. I tend to do that every time we get together. I told myself, be very short, but I'm going to use that segue, talking about therapy, into talking about what is going on at the end of this month. Come on, people. We promote the Life Happens Conference as a conference that brings together spiritual leaders and mental health professionals. And even some of them spiritual leaders are licensed mental health professionals. You can't get no better than that. You a spiritual leader and you licensed. Come on here, somebody. What conference you know about that? We're gonna bring both of these things together. Right. And it is an amazing time every year, as somebody say, get betterer and betterer. It's not a word, but we're gonna use it for right. It get betterer and betterer. All right. So we are so excited about Life Happens this month, the last Saturday in October 25th. If you are anywhere in the DMV area, even if you're not in the DMV and you got to jump in your car and drive 5 or 6 hours, it is worth the drive. It will be held at the Meeting House in Columbia, Maryland on Saturday, October 25th. All right, you want to be there. Let's just give a quick overview of all these powerful, certified, anointed people who will be gracing the room. All right, so let's talk about this. New this year, we have a teen session. Come on, give it up for the teens. Because some of us then got old and crotchety and we forgot what it was to be a teen. And you know, you need to remember, we had some things things going on in our life when we was teens, from, peer pressure to, doing unsavory things, a bunch of
Not
things that all of
unsavory,
us
not
could,
unsavory.
we can remember when we was teens that, got us in trouble. But we're not going to go down that road. We just know that teens need to give themselves a little grace as well. So this year is our special teen session. Our co-host, Mr. Alonzo Chapman, along with Sharia Fleet, who is a what? A LCSW, licensed clinical social worker, and she's a minister as well. She's a youth pastor at her church. Come on here. Like I said, we're going to bring God and a little training in with it. Amen. So Alonzo and Sharia will be hitting up our teen sessions. That's 13 to 19. Sign your teens up. Just don't come by yourself this year. If you got a teenager in your house, bring them with you. And they have a special registration price when you go to register them. Then, as usual, we have our men and our women session. Hitting up the men's session, we have Bishop Joshua Harris and Mr. Randy Sneed Jr. Mr. Sneed Jr. is a certified relationship coach. Come on here. We got the men leading the men. It's going to be an awesome talk in that session. I might peek my head and see what's going on. I like to be a little nosy. All right. Then we got the women's session. In the women's session, we got our favorite cousin counselor coming back. Come on, get some hand claps in the comments. Cousin counselor, Miss LaDawn Bridges, who is a LCSW. What's that again? A licensed, certified, licensed clinical social worker. All right. Miss LaDawn Bridges is back in the house with our own co-host, the founder of the Lioness Den, the founder of Life Happens. Give it up in the comments. Elder. Let me put Elder on there. Really, Elder. Lydia Chapman in the house. Come on here. All right. Now, also special during this year, we have a special lunch time while everybody's sitting down eating lunch. We will have a Q&A session with two that is familiar to the conference. That is Miss Adrienne Holloman, who is a registered nurse and life coach, and Miss Ebony Vaughn, who is another LCSW. During lunchtime, they'll have a quick Q&A sessions. And what that is, whatever you discussed in your sessions, the men or women will come together. During the session, you will have an opportunity to write down any of your questions. We understand everybody's not willing to put up their hand and talk out loud. So during the sessions, everybody will have a chance to write down any questions they may have on pieces of paper. We'll give those questions to Adrienne and Ebony, and during lunchtime, they'll be answering those questions. In addition, we will have a short comic presentation by none other. If you know him, to know him is to love him.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Guy Chapman, okay? His comic debut. We are so excited about that. And to top off the day, the cherry on top of the Sunday, we have the Apostle Dr. James Lemuel Spence. All right, come on, give some praise in the comments for Dr. Spence. He was with us last year. He was virtual, but this year he will be in person. It is going to be an absolutely amazing time that you do not want to miss. You want to be in the room on October 25th. This is an investment in yourself, in the betterment of yourself. And trust me, these people are a wealth of knowledge, and they are going to give you more than the registration fee. You will leave with more than the registration fee. The registration fee includes,
can I say one thing?
I'm gonna give you a chance to talk. See, if y'all watch, let's go on a sidebar, just one quick Lioness Den family. If you have been watching this for any amount of years, you will know every time I guest host, Lydia tries to take over. I give her space to talk, and she still be trying to. You gonna have? Can I finish saying my piece? Promote, and then I was gonna give you space because I know you want to talk because you don't like being. You don't know what it is to operate on that side of the table. You all right? All right. So, registration includes your registration packet. and lunch. Also, we have a wellness option. If you pick the wellness option, you get a special hoodie with the logo of the conference on there, as well as the book from Miss Lydia Chapman. Also, we have a virtual option. We understand that everybody might not be in the area, but they want to be a part. There is a virtual option as well. So we've covered all bases. There is no excuse for you not to be in the room in person or virtually. All right. And I already had knew that Lydia was going to want to say a piece about all those speakers I named because she loves them all. So this is my official space to give Miss Chapman a time to talk about all those beautiful people that will be joining us at the conference. Go ahead. Here you go. There you go. Your time. Go.
So LA has said everything about the speakers. I am not going to add to that. That was a complete detailed description of every speaker. There's nothing that I could add to that. What I do want to say to you is, even with everything that she said, there are a few other surprises that will happen this year, and you have to be in the room to be a part of it. So again, go over to lifehappens1.com and register today. Look, Apostle Spence alone is worth your registration. Now look at the rest of the list. Oh my gosh. I'm excited. I'm excited. I am so excited. Of course, I'm excited every year, but I'm so excited again because I can't wait to get there just to be able to experience Life Happens this year. It is going to be amazing. Do yourself the just great gift of coming and getting in the room and hearing these amazing people and getting the tools that they're going to offer. See, I told you I wasn't going to say each and every.
It's all right. It's all right. What I want to add to that is, if you don't know, and those who may know, Lydia wrote a book last year about peace. This year, she's going to come out with another one about grace. Make sure you're in the room to purchase each of her books. And once you purchase, the author will be there. Tell her to write something a little special in the book. But the only way you can get the special note written in the book is if you're there.
Yes.
That's the only way you can get the special note written in the book. In addition, I would be remiss if I did not mention, leading up to Life Happens, every Saturday. This is the kickoff this Saturday, but next Saturday, October 11th, we will have the Elder Shamila Luster. She graced us last year, and we are bringing her back again for an awesome word that she will speak into your life on next Saturday. You don't want to miss her. She will also be in the place on October 25th. So if she says something that ministers to you, that encourages you, make sure you register so you can tell her in person how much that word she's going to give on next week did for you. And then on October 18th, we have the prophetess Madeline Jones, who is no stranger to the Lioness Den. And I believe this will be her third year with us doing the Survivor series. So this month, every Saturday is jam-packed with stuff just for you, okay? So this first Saturday, welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we want you to come back every Saturday. But that last Saturday, we want to see your face in the place so we can love on you, hug on you, and you can get all these amazing tools that these people are going to give when life happens. Yes. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. All right. I'm going to take this time. I talked enough. I'm going to take this time to hand it over to Lydia for anything else she wants to add. We do have a little commercial we want you to watch before we end. So how about we play that and we come back and give some final thoughts.
All right. We have about 2 commercials, so we're going to play them back to back. So hold on. We'll be right back.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement that explode like a bomb.
So for the last 4 years, I have attended Life Happens as a participant and as a panelist and as a speaker, and it has been amazing in each and every role. The experience has been life-changing. It's real. It's been relatable. It's not scientific and it's not deep. It's right there on the plate where you can get it. It's right there where you can understand it and apply it to your life. And that's what makes it so powerful. That when you leave there, you're grasping it. But when you leave there, you still have it. It doesn't fade. It's been something that has been ingrained now. You get all the aha moments and you're able to change the things that you need to change. And it inspires you in the areas where you need to be inspired. So it's just been
All right. All right. Just another reminder that you should be in the room on October 25th. And before we end, reminder, if you are on Facebook, go to the Life Happens Conferences official Facebook group where you can get those periodic nuggets in the morning, at least 3 times a week. She comes on with something special, as well as her co-host, Mr. Alonzo Chapman, will drop nuggets of encouragement and inspiration. So come join that group if you're on Facebook. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so that you know every time the Lioness Den is live. Before we end, I know you touched on your book and what the title of it is, but do you want to give the people a little bit more about what is going to be included, what they can look for in this new book that is about to drop this month?
Well, this year we have 2 books this year. We have hashtag Grace Spaces, or Grace Space, because there's no S on it, a journey into grace. And then we also have the devotional companion book to that book. And so they will both be available at the conference. We will be selling those at the conference. Understand that these 2 books, they're not your usual book that you buy. The devotional, a lot of times when you buy devotional, they have a lot of scriptures throughout the devotional. But this particular devotional, it gives you a call to action for your day. What am I going to do today to give myself grace? And so I implore you, I encourage you to get in the room to get the book and find out, how am I going to give myself grace? What does give myself grace look like? Find yourself in the book, because I promise you there is an excerpt that you are going to enjoy. LA, it's back to you.
Look, get her being all nice and good. Don't she look lovely, y'all? Ain't she lovely? She all bright this morning, like she was ready for y'all. And that smile, we give God praise for Elder Lydia Chapman. We do honor her. She started this channel as well as this conference because she saw a need, and it is just growing each year. So we are so excited for you. We're so excited, and we are expecting a book every year. Every time the conference come out, we know we're going to get an amazing book every year. So we had Peace on last year. We got Grace on this year. The year before Peace, we had Thrive. So we're excited about what next year will hold. Even before we get through with this year, we are just excited about the vision God has given her. And we're excited that you are along on this journey. Every time you click the video to watch, you are coming along on this journey of life in the Lioness Den. And we do, again, hope you come and join us in the room on October 25th. We love you. We love you. We love you. We're so happy that you're with us. Remember, for next 2 Saturdays, every Saturday, 11 a.m., click and join. Elder Shamila Luster. Next Saturday, the following Saturday, Prophetess Madeline Jones. You don't want to miss it. And Lydia will be back to her normal duties of hosting the Lioness Den, where she feels a little more comfortable. But for now, I get to pick with her. But we love you guys. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you and hope to see you soon.
Bye.